According to this famous graph that everybody has read, I'm sure you guys have all had a look at this graph as well, by the Washington Post, I believe it was. For the last decade, there's a third of all men under the age of 30 have not got laid, are virgins or incels. And this is in the West as well, by the way. This is not taking into account other countries. This is just in the West. Now, to start with, if you are one of those guys, can you leave a comment below and explain to me why this is happening or why you believe this is happening within your reality? I'd like to hear it in the comments. I'd like to read what is going on. I'd like to understand why you believe this is happening. I've been doing a little bit of research, just basic Googling and looking at .org or .edu websites to try and understand which are trusted or relatively trusted websites, and trying to get some more information on what is going on with the incel crisis. And in 2022, there is still more data coming out and more articles being published where they're talking about 1/3 of all men not being incels and not having sex under the age of 30. And that is a huge percentage, 33, over 33%, and they say that it's rising. There's still yet to be more data to come out after 2022 and beyond, but it seems like it's getting worse. Now, I want to just quickly raise this topic because I didn't really know it was that bad. And I want to just give my take on it. But before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS, novel dating advice for the modern man. I teach men the sweet art of cold approach, which is cold approaching women and taking them out on dates and turning them into your girlfriend. I also am capable of taking lower mate value guys who are a little bit less attractive, who tend to struggle in the sexual marketplace. I dare say there's a lot of incels out there that I could teach how to cold approach women and get them success. I do believe that that is possible. You can go to the website and sign up to do some cold approach coaching with myself. If I'm able to do it for myself as a guy who is in my 40s, I'm not wealthy, I've had a few hip replacements, I'm disabled, and I'm still picking up girls quite consistently. If I can do that, I can definitely teach a guy in his 30s how to do it. Or a guy under 30, that is. A guy that's in his 20s, definitely. There's very few guys in their 20s. If you're willing to put in the time and effort, if you're not lazy, if you're not extremely weak-minded, I definitely think that I could coach you and get you a girlfriend with some cold approach coaching. But this is interesting. I'd like some comments if anyone out there is struggling and is a self-proclaimed incel. This is a topic where it's interesting. I would tend to believe that guys that struggle to get laid and they're incels and they're virgins under 30, I would tend to believe that there could be like a limiting belief there, where they tend to believe that it's not possible for them, or there's some I wouldn't say lack of confidence, I would say there's as if they believe that society won't allow them to get a girlfriend, or they don't think it's possible. It's definitely a form of limiting belief, because as a guy of my age, who's relatively short, not wealthy or anything like that, if I'm able to do it, a guy in his 20s should be able to do it far easier. And if I'm not having any trouble, I'm not struggling, then the things that are holding back those men under the age of 30 must be some sort of a mental block, mental uh, something along those lines. And I'm certain that changing the way that you think would have to be the main issue. Where would a lot of their time go? Because myself, I've been what is deemed to be a natural, so I've always been getting laid since I was really young. I've never really had a dry spell my entire life, and um, it just makes me wonder where would their time go. That's why I would like to have some comments and get some dialogue and maybe speak to an incel, because I just struggle to understand how this could be happening to a large percentage of the male population, especially in their 20s. Are they spending all their time playing video games at home or doing something inside that doesn't involve being social with anybody at all? I can't see, if let's just say if I had access to one of these guys who's an incel, and he's willing to listen, put in some hard work, get outside of his comfort zone. I can't see any reason why I would have trouble getting one of these guys laid. And when I looked at this graph, I kind of saw it as a bit of a challenge. I would like to have the challenge. I think it would be kind of fun. So if you are one of those incels and you want to, it's a large percentage of men actually, and you've struggled and you've ran out of options, sign up and do some coaching with me, because I would like the challenge actually. I really would. And I'd like some comments from you guys. Just let me know, why do you think that this is possible? Because it can't really just be them being unattractive. Like if you're extremely overweight, and you're eating too much and you just really let yourself go, then that could be a factor. But that can't be over a third of all men under the age of 30. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are maybe normal body shape that look after themselves relatively well and don't eat a lot of Cheetos. It's an interesting topic. I would like to discuss it more, but from what I've read, they don't give a lot of good examples. They tend, in these articles that I read, they said that there's been a decline in people getting married young. There's an increase in men under 30 living at home with their parents because they can't afford to rent or own their own place. The economy's with inflation, and it's becoming more of a feudal system in the West. There's also been a drop in more like traditional sort of values. There was a whole bunch of like articles where they pointed to a lot of these reasons why. But myself, when I think about it, if I was living with my parents, I was under 30, people weren't getting married around my age, I'll still find a way to get laid. In fact, even as a teenager, when I was living at home with my parents and my parents hated me, I still got laid. So that's not really an excuse. All the excuses that I read online didn't make sense to me. I managed to overcome all of those things when I was younger. And if you are one of those guys and you've lost hope, if you're able to stay positive and you're able to take instruction, I don't see why I wouldn't have the ability to change things around for you and turn things around majorly. I'd like the challenge. And if you're watching this video, go to the website, go through all the free material if you like, go through all the videos, read the articles. Maybe start off with the digital product that I've got there, the 30-day challenge. See how you go with that. If you are the type of man who likes to feel sorry for himself and think that you've got it worse than everybody else, maybe read my book, and that will give you a good backhand across the face, and you'll be able to look at your own life and realize that it's nowhere near as bad as mine, and yet I've got no excuses. So that might be able to snap you out of it. And ultimately, I think go to the website and sign up to do some cold approach coaching with myself. That's all I'd like to say on the topic. Unless someone wants to reach out and do a podcast or something, I'd be interested to do that. I'll see you guys in the next video.